Hi, it's Noel from UK Foamsmith and Cosplay. I wanted to make this sort of short video really, just to cover creating a shine on our helmets and our armour. I know it's the holy grail for all of us to get that sort of finish, that sheen, especially when you've done a metallic coat that gives you such a great finish. So I've been experimenting for about a year now on various different products to try and get that ultimate sheen. So now I've done previous videos on Alclad and the chrome, which I think has done a fantastic job of getting me the results that I'm looking for, quite an affordable price. And the other thing is that you can do it indoors. You're not reliant on the weather. It dries really quickly, so your productivity is so much better. All of that kind of thing. So I've been working on a Zori Bliss build for quite some time, and it's quite a difficult colour to match up to. It's like a rose gold coppery sort of finish, but with a really high shine. So I've been working on that for quite some time to try and get it right, and I kind of got the colour right, but in getting the colour right, even using Alclad, I didn't manage to achieve the kind of level of shine that I wanted to, reflectivity that really the costume shows. It's like it's actually made out of copper, so it's kind of been a difficult thing to achieve on foam. So I've been struggling with various different things and ordered quite a lot of different products in and layering up colours to try and sort of reach that level. So I've been watching a few videos on people using different types of products, from Alclad's aqua coat, polyurethane sprays, which is what I've always been using before on my coloured gloss finishes, and it's given me a high sheen. But obviously with the top coats, you tend to find that they add more of a shell, so you end up in this position where it's not very flexible or it cracks, which is just quite annoying. So I've tried acrylic ones to try and keep the flexibility to it. I've looked at 2K automotive, which again dries to quite a hard shell, although it gives you the sheen that you're looking for. So there's always some compromise or other. So today I received a new product that I'd seen a video on YouTube, which is, it's for acrylic painters, and it's a top coat for someone to, if they've done a painting and they want to put a protective coat over their painting, they use this. It's called Liquitex. Now I found it on Amazon. This is 118 millilitres and cost me £9.50. So now I've looked at all sorts of sprays, because the idea of brushing something on, it's, you know, brush stroke marks and everything else, it's just a no-brainer that you would never do such a thing. However, this works best when brushed on than it does if you try and sort of airbrush it on or use some kind of spray gun. It actually mists. However, if you use it with a brush, it self-levels and gives you the shine that you're looking for. Also, this can be tinted. There was a guy that did the C3PO build, and he added liquid food colouring to this, and put it over a chrome base, and came up with the kind of rosy gold C3PO finish with the reflectivity of the Alclad 2 chrome. And he did his whole build on it, and it was amazing to see that. So having watched that video, I thought to myself, well, I wonder what Liquitex does in its raw form without adding any colouring to it, and just putting it on a colour that's already been pre-sprayed on. So this is my Zori build. Oops, this is my Zori build, which is here. So that's what I've been working on for quite some time. I've got another video where I give you the look around and the comparison between the two sides. Oops, there you go. Put that back there. So, but I want to give you a little bit more of an up close sort of feel. So these are from the Zori build, and so I've done half the costume with the Liquitex and half the costume without, just with the Alclad base on it. So which still gave me, you know, a metallic finish, but not that reflection that I wanted it on it. So this is the Alclad gold over a copper metallic base, which was just a rattle can I got from the hardware store, and then I sprayed over with the titanium gold, and it, you know, it did a reasonable job of making it look more metallic and more shiny than what the matte finish of the metallic one did. So I was quite pleased with that, but it still was disappointing in terms of the overall finish. It still feels quite diffused, and not at all what I was looking for. So when the Liquitex came today, I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, you've got to give it a try. So, and obviously it's the Zori build that I'm really trying to build it upon. So let's just take a small part of the armor and give it a shot and see if it makes any difference. So that is the Alclad only, no top coat at all. And this is with the Liquitex. So now that was applied 3 coats with a brush. You can see there's no brush marks on there at all because it self-levels if you do it in thin coats. The trick is that you've got to use a soft bristle nylon brush. And this is a standard Wilko own brand 1-inch paintbrush, which is what I used. And I dipped it in to that and then just smeared it over. Now a little of this goes a really long way. So I've done 3 coats. I've done the helmet, 3 coats. I've done half of the body armor, 3 coats. 3 coats here. And I'll give you another example. So this is the gauntlet without. And this is the gauntlet with. So you can see there's a massive difference between the two. That's what I've done. So I've done 3 coats on the gauntlet, the shoulder bell, the bicep mark, and the collar piece. I did half of the collar piece to show the difference there as well. So in fact, actually, I might be able to show you the difference. So obviously this is the Zori Bliss, and you can see the level of sheen I've now got on that. That's 3 coats, and it's kept the integrity of the metallic and the colour that I actually put on it. So I've only done the top part of the shell. I haven't done any of this. I left that as it was because it's supposed to be a bit dirty undercarriage sort of feel, but I did all the top part. So that gives you a really good idea of the level of reflection that you get from it. So pop that over there, and then this I've done half with and half without. So that's without, and that's with. So you can see there's quite a big difference between the two. So, and as I was saying earlier, the thing is with top coats is they create a shell. So and they crack and don't do very well in flexibility. So you're either compromising on shine or you're compromising on flexibility. Well, as you can see, complete give. No cracking, no sign of cracking. I haven't tried it with a heat gun to see if you do get a crease in it as to whether or not it will bounce back. That's the one test I haven't done yet because I don't want to sacrifice this build yet. So, but as you can see, really flexible. So from that perspective, so from a flexibility, double thumbs up. From a sheen perspective, double thumbs up. Maintaining the integrity of the metallic finish that I was aiming for, I think it's done a fairly good job. It does feel a bit plasticky in terms of that, but any top coat will. Anything that's not made of metal is going to look like it's not made of metal. So, you know, you have to sort of compromise a little bit more with what you can and can't do. So my next question was, if it does that with Alclad acrylic, what will it do with like a high gloss spray paint. So I've got an old red hood that got caught in the sun, went a bit bubbly, and this is it. So now one side, this side has got the Liquitex brushed on. I did 2 coats and I did to the halfway mark, and then this is the standard gloss with a polyurethane coating over the top, which I was reasonably impressed with. But there is a big difference. I don't know, it's not really showing up that well on camera, but certainly to the naked eye, this side has a much higher sheen than this side. This side's pretty good, and you can see it's reflecting the phone and everything else in it. It looks a lot better on camera than it does close up, but I think that this does even better. And again, it's flexible. So again, taking the helmet on and off, you can get cracking, sort of particularly here in stress points where it's going on and off. Whereas this will remain flexible, so you won't get any of the cracking. So you can take it off and on as much as you like, and you should still be in a reasonable position. So I did it on that. So then I also did another test on. I did a matte finish on my Wolverine, and again I wanted to. I've got a leather jacket that I wanted to match, which has got a higher sheen, so I wanted to increase the sheen on it. So again, without, it's got a satiny sort of finish, which I wasn't that happy with. So I brushed that on very roughly. I didn't even take my time on it. I just had a little bit left over on the brush, so I just sort of did over that bit. So and you can see the amount of reflection that you're getting. So not good if you want a matte finish, but if you're looking for a sheen, you can see the difference. This up here is the usual polyurethane spray that I use. Now actually you can't see it on camera, but it has got a yellowy tinge, which it says it won't do, but it does. Over the white it hit like a yellowy sort of sheen, which I didn't like. Whereas I don't think you'll get that with this other one, but it's going to be, I'd have to get something white and spread it on. So it gives you an idea of the different types that you can get. I mean, this is not an exhaustible list. There are other things that I haven't tried yet. I'm still waiting for the Alclad Aqua Coat to arrive, and I'm interested to see how that will do. And there are various combinations, like particularly with Alclad, where you can use that and then use like a 2K automotive paint. But the thing is, 2K automotive paint for a 400ml standard rattle can is 25 quid. £25 is just way too much for me to be justifying on a build. So I'm always looking for something a little bit more cost effective. Now, like I say, I did all of the body, or half the body, 3 coats, the whole of the helmet, 3 coats, half that helmet, half of both of those helmets as well, just 2 rough coats. And I've used that much. So it goes a long way. You really don't need very much of it. And like I say, it's brushed on, not sprayed on. So there's no overspraying, there's no waste of product. You know, what you get out the bottle goes onto the build. And I just think, you know, certainly living in the UK where the weather is unpredictable at best, and at the moment being still winter, it's wet a lot, and the temperatures are not high enough to really dry anything off, even if you do get a dry spell. It's made painting just that much difficult and really has reduced my productivity. So this, to be able to airbrush Alclad inside the building with no smell, there's no overspray, so I've got nothing in my surrounding environment. I'm sure if I left my phone there, it would end up on the screen, obviously, but you know, but for the most part, my working area is still as clean as it was before I started using it. And I've sprayed a whole body and 4 helmets on my table, and you wouldn't even know that I lifted any paint. So that means I can do it inside, and it's drying, you know, seconds, you know, in some cases, minutes in others, but, you know, it's not hours, which is what you normally have to wait for. Now this says that it should dry for 3 hours. I was putting on the next coat in 10 minutes. So whether I've broken any rules or not, I don't know. I had the heating cranked up a little bit, so it dried a little bit quicker. And I actually put this on top of the radiator in order to dry it quicker, just so I could see how it was doing. I figured if it goes horribly wrong, I can make a new shoulder belt. But as you can see, I didn't really have any problems with it. So, double thumbs up for Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. I'm now going to try and research it harder now that I know that it works, to find out if I can buy it in bigger bottles at cheaper prices, you know, make it more cost effective that way. But you know, this was like a pound 50, you know. Okay, with everything that I've done, you can see the bristles are now starting to get a little bit wayward and stuff like that, so that's going to interfere. So, you know, but then again, I was stuffing it in the bottle, which is a little bit too narrow for the bristle head. If I had it in a pot with a wider brim, I probably wouldn't get the same sort of damage. So I have just rinsed it with hot water, nothing else. So, and there is getting a little bit of a kind of residual sort of powdery sort of feel to it now as well, which I'm sure will interfere with time. But so far it's worked. So anyway, I hope that has been a helpful video. In terms of you finding your top coat. It seems to work on everything, and to the same level. So try it out. And I don't think there's anything I've come across so far that I wouldn't give it a go on. But be prepared. It is a high sheen, but it does feel a little bit like it's a bit plasticky, I guess. But in terms of the actual integrity of the colour, that's held. So I'm really pleased with that. So I hope this has been helpful. So subscribe to the channel, find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, UK Foam Smith and Cosplay, and I'll see you next time.